Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. This has been a very tough last couple weeks to trade because it's been so choppy and volatile. I've tried to update Twitter on what I'm doing, and that's basically been when it's low, I buy calls, and when it's high, I buy puts, and then I don't hold anything for long. I get rid of it as soon as I have, as soon as I think, okay, it's done enough. So I have been pretty adamant, though, about buying the effing dip for a while, just because I don't know, that the lows have been in. But this past week, it didn't quite get high enough to keep me on that train. So now it did enough, and I'll show you on the charts what I mean by that. It did enough to keep me in suspense, but it did not do enough to keep me adamant about continuing to try and buy dips. So I'll talk about what my strategy is, which is really an if-then statement, which I hate. I'm just like you guys. I like certainty. I like to say it's going to do this, but I just don't know. I do have good levels, though, and I'll share them with you, and I'll talk about what my plan is. As far as the metals go, we finally got a breakout of sorts last week, so I will show you what needs to happen for that to continue and stay on path. And then I will talk about oil, which has just been a freaking freight train. It has just gone nowhere but north. But I'll talk about what my strategy is for that as well. And with that said, let's talk charts. You ready? Whoop. All right. Okay. So first of all, let's start off by looking at the big picture weekly here without any lines per se. You can see that after this really beautiful looking hammer candle, this one and then this one, last week was just wah wah. It really looks like, if we just examine it, it looks like it went back tested this lowest MA here, and then it was like, nope, not doing it. Is that bearish? Not necessarily, but it's certainly not bullish. It really needs to get back above this MA at 44.03 for it to start looking like it's going to reverse course here. So 44.03, big level, no lines. That's what's to watch. Now let's look at lines. Okay, I know a lot of lines. I don't care. Okay, so last week at the end of the week, I posted that, from a daily perspective, it needed to hold whatever that was, and then from a weekly perspective, it needed to hold 43.80, which it did not. So the next support down here, if you are bullish, if you are thinking that this is going to reverse course, is 4292. Okay, and then the buy or die level is 4200 this week, and then below that 4183. But if it gets below 4183, then I'm thinking it's probably going to go sub 4K. Okay, so I'm not going to be dogmatic about anything here. Now, if it gets back above 4380, I'm thinking, whoops, I need to change this. If it gets back above 4380, it could go potentially all the way to 4500 or more, by the way, if there's some catalyst that happens. So that's just what to watch for. Above 4380, swing. Below this 4200 and then 4183, it could be really bad. I don't know if it'll be bad for long, but it could be really bad. Okay, now let's look. Oh, sorry, I should go back and look at the daily. All right. So when we open Sunday night / Monday, 4356.50 is the key pivot. And you could see, though, see what I mean? It didn't get there, because that was sort of my, all right, we're doing this, we're going, at least on the daily. But it did close above that lowest MA there. So it left us in suspense, but these are the numbers I'm watching. 4356.50 is the key. Above, okay, let's just put it for there. Okay, 4423, yay. And then 4280.75. This is getting weak, though. The more times it's hit, the less times it'll hold. And then below that, 4252.75, and then 4179.75 is double support for Sunday / Monday on the daily. All right, let's look at the hourly. Okay, so before I had posted one of my favorite formations, which is the ascending triangle, which we broke out of and then came back in. And that's what I mean. I was telling somebody, I was like, look, it's easy to track where it is. and it just couldn't close the hour. Once it got back inside of the hourly, it couldn't reclose above that level. So I put my trash can here at 4279 on the hourly. Below that, it's bearish. Ha. Okay, above 4386, it's bullish. Anywhere in between isn't scalper's paradise, but you can see the number of times this has been hit, and the more times it's been hit, the less likely it is to hold. Same thing goes for this though, right? Look at this, the number of times it's been hit, the less time it is to hold. So this is just sort of the range we're in, very short-term level. Now, let's look at NASDAQ. Okay, so this hammer thing, gavel, the judgment day, right, was the measured move from when we broke out of this channel. And so far it's held. So like it's way below these EMAs, but it did do enough not to look dire. However, it looks really dire. Not gonna lie. Okay, but from a weekly perspective, these are my pivots. 13837.25 is, judgment day. Below that is 13071, and you know what? It needs to hold there or else, okay? But it's not going to be bullish until we get back above this 14478.75. Technically, that's really not bullish longer term because it's just back testing this. But I think it would be bullish in this particular instance because it would be trying to break out, right? So if it gets above there, that's good news. Now, from a daily perspective, I changed my key. So instead of having it go down all the time, now NASDAQ has some proving us. It has to prove itself to us. So it has to get above this 14044 for it to start looking bullish from the daily perspective. It's got this kind of last chance going on at 13506.5 on the daily. Below that, 13371, and then 13109. But it's gonna look dire, and I'll have to recalculate some things if it starts to get below this 13506. Okay, now let's look at small caps. Oh, okay, we just opened gap down, you can see. And let's see here, let me move this. Oops, I have a thing, hold on. Oh, I wanted to do this. I wanted to say this. Look at this, right? This looks very similar to this, even including this last candle. So I was going to say, watch out, because we could have a really big down week here. It's possible, okay? But that's what I was looking at here. Now, that shouldn't be higher than last week, should it? Hello. I wish that the thing, TradingView, would snap the price markers to the line. It doesn't do that. It's very annoying. Okay, 1928.4 is sort of the level I'm watching here. And from an up perspective, it's 2087. Okay, now let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, I hear people, I don't know why gold bugs do this. They're very agitating sometimes. I'm a gold bull right now, right? But they're like, look at crypto. Like, please don't throw rocks at other people's glass houses, because you have a glass house yourself. Anyway, this looks like consolidation to me, but also it looks like an ascending triangle, which is one of my favorite things. Okay, so as long as it and I have to draw this in. I'm just gonna draw it in with, like, right now, just whatever. Okay, so I didn't do the best job, but you get the drift, right? Above 44,300 is going to be superty ooperty bullish as long as it keeps hold. I should draw that in better, but you get the drift. As long as it holds above this triangle looking thing, which I will draw nicely and post on Telegram or whatever, but above that, it's starting to look very bullish to me. However, 41657.8 is this orange line at this time, which, by the way, moves, but you get my drift, right? It's starting to look like an ascending triangle, my favorite thing. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Same thing, but not as defined. It's actually forming more of a pennant, which is less bullish, but above this 2670 area, yay, right? But as long as it's below, not yay. All right, so just depends on how you're biased there, but the key pivot is 2960.78. All right, now let's look at Doge. I drew in another line here because why the F not? Okay, So anyway, I'm looking for it to hold above this line, which is now going up, or else it's probably going to hit this pink line again and not be bullish. However, it looks to me like it's trying to based on RSI. So I'm just hodling at this time, but not going to add to this until it gets above, back above, like starting to look bullish, which it is not at this time. So, all right, that's what I'm doing. Now let's look at Tesla. Okay. So Tesla actually looked a little bit more constructive than a lot of other tech stocks. So if you're looking at Tesla as sort of a barometer, which I do from time to time, I change my barometers all the frick time. But if you wanted to buy the effing dip in Tesla, I would watch the 813.85 level. And if it goes below that, though, if it starts going below that, I'm going to have a massive order in to do calls at least at about 6:53. Okay. Yeah. If it comes down here, I'm going to try. Who knows? But I'm going to try if it comes down here to get some calls and just see what happens. Okay. Let's look at ARK. Yeah. What a week. So, you know, what I've done here a couple of times is like if it bounced perfectly off of this MA, which is annoying, but basically like even if I'm losing, I will reduce when it gets higher and then add back lower. So we'll see what happens here. It does need to get above this LFG level for it to start looking bullish, but the levels here to watch, let me just add one. Even because it looks dire, right? But we'll see. Why does it do that? It's doing that to me lately where I can't just clone, copy, paste. Okay, so here, if it gets below this 5708 level though, it's probably going to go and fill this gap at the 40.20 area to 42 area, or just bounce off the 42 area. That could be support, okay? But I would watch for that. If we get a, right? The best thing to do is to have a stop in here and then add back if it gets there, okay? Okay, let's look at GDX because, wow. All right, so we had finally a breakout above this fire extinguisher line. This has been a real problem for bulls since forever, I don't know, but we broke out above it. So if GDX does take a dip this week, the breakout level to hold would be 36.83. And then below that, all the way to 34.34. So I hope that doesn't happen. And then it's still bullish though, overall, still looking like it's going up, even down to 33.20. Okay. The next level of breakout dumb, or the next resistance, I should say, is 39.43. Okay. Now let's look at gold. Woo. All right. Yay. I was hoping I would see that. This is the advantage of doing it live. You get to see my reaction. Okay. Okay. Drooling. Anyway, this may not, who knows what's going to happen, but this may not hold overnight. We'll have to see. But anyway, I don't really have any resistance on the weekly here until 2068. Oh, look at it go. And a back test would be 1943. Okay, now I want a quick, where's my, okay, here. Oh, okay. So on the 4 hour, we're actually at resistance right now. That is 1991.8. Okay. So, and then here we're in the money here on this. So actually I want to just sell some. Okay, but I'm gonna hurry. Okay. Let's look at silver. Okay, so silver is even stronger than gold. We got back above this previous high of silver. The next resistance is 26.375. Okay, and then below that is 25.395. Okay. But I want to talk about oil as well. Okay, oil gapped up. That's good news for bulls and bears, I think. But anyway, I was going to say the next level of resistance is 119.83. And I wanted to say something though. I do believe if this is going to be a major turnaround, that the high actually needs to happen within real-time hours or else. So I'm looking for US oil to hit highs during US trading hours, which would be from 9:30 to 4. That's usually when you see if you see a big dunk that didn't have the highs during those hours, it usually means it's just a dip that can be bought. So I'm still overall like a little bit thinking that this is, well, I am thinking this could potentially go back to 89.23 pretty freaking quickly with the right thing happening here. But 114.05 first, and then oh, by the way, I switched to puts. So what I did was I put in some long dated puts, and then you know, if you see that during the trading day it's going to go up, then you just play it long, and that way you can benefit from both of those things. But I do think that because of this, the look of this candle, and because of this momentum here, that potentially when it does go down, it's going to go down very, very fast. But because it's hard to call a top, because I already tried and failed, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait until it gets below these pivots and then go from there. And I was going to show you, okay, so we broke upwards out of this channel for the XOP. Let me just get rid of this because it's kind of messing up my candle. And because the candle does not look at all bearish, the measured move, if this is not a fake breakout, is 138.47. So if you are long, that is resistance. If you are looking to short, that is a great place to buy puts if it gets all the way there. And if it gets back below this 119.36, that would probably mean that it's a fakey breaky. Okay, now let's look at Natty. Please, baby. Oh, good. Okay, yes, it gapped up as well. Damn it. But it's coming back down. So, okay. So, I mean, it's good they gapped up, but it's bad it's coming back down. So anyway, the levels that I'm watching this week are 5.199 and 5.477. On the upside, that is a previous gap that did get filled, but that's still levels to watch. And then on the downside, 4.394. I gotta talk fast here, sorry. And then for Joe, okay. So Joe closed outside of the channel, excuse me, but barely. So this potentially is a good buying opportunity. I did not want to see it close below this channel, but let's talk real talk here. It's closed above it and then gone down and so it's, you know, there is some wiggle room here. This is not perfect, but I do for this week want to see it back above 61.77, or else I did not sell any last week. You got to sell when it's close here and then add back. And even if you add back, you're like, well, you know, okay, it's still okay, but I'm not going to cut it unless it closes the week. Let me see if it'll let me do it this time. Ugh, so annoying. The figure that I'd want it to close by the end of the week is actually 58.59, which is a back test of this breakout here. But if it gets to 58.59 and then back above 60.23, yay. Okay, but 58.59 is the level to watch on Joe. Okay, that's it. Sorry, I gotta sell some of this gold. I'm like real annoyed by myself that I waited so long to do this video. How do I even do this? I can't even think about it. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for subscribing to my videos, and I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you on the internet. Okay, bye.